What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I am leaving O'Reilly right now. We picked up a cylinder head temp sensor because this morning we are going to work on a 2013 Ford Transit Connect van. I haven't diagnosed it yet. I'm just going off of what he told me over the phone, honestly. This sensor is the most common repair, so I just went ahead and picked it up. That way, if I need it, I already have it in the van. But hang on, let me punch it in the Navi here, because that way I can find where I'm going. Give me one sec. And basically, he called and he's like, the van started running kind of crazy, and then the coolant temperature shot down to like the coldest reading it can read on the gauge, and then the engine killed. So, and I think he had like a message flash across his screen for parked vehicle, don't drive. I don't remember exactly what it said. So he called me and he had it scanned. I don't know if he had his own scanner or if he had like an AutoZone scanner or something, but the DTC code he gave me, where like all I want to do is pull my Navi. This guy asks me like 50 questions while I'm driving. Jeez. Let's see if I can mute this too, because I don't feel like doing that. I looked up the DTC, and the most common cause was a cylinder head temp sensor. So we're gonna change the cylinder head temp sensor, unless I get there and something else stands out to me, like a connector issue or something. Because a cylinder head temp sensor is basically like it's like a resistor. So and they go bad. So, and when they go bad, they usually cause these exact symptoms he's having. So I feel pretty confident. Good Lord, lady. Oncoming traffic lady decides to get in my lane instead of her own lane. I don't know. Of course, when I get there, I'm gonna throw my scan tool on it and do a little diag to see if I'm still leaning in that direction. But that's what we got this morning, so stay tuned. This is going to be our cylinder head temp sensor here. And it looks like it's covered in oil in the connector. It's not inside the valve cover though. So what could be happening is the oil could be leaking through the sensor, the cylinder head sensor, and then shorting out the connector. So I think replacing that cylinder head sensor is going to be a good starting point for sure. So I'm going to clean this connector off and replace that sensor, and then clear the faults and see how she runs. Should be good after that. Let's see, I'm not sure of the size socket. I wonder if it's a 19. Be at 19. Yep, but we might need a deeper one in this. I may have to take a trip to Harbor Freight and get a socket for this thing. It is a 19, but my 19 is nowhere near deep enough. Dang it. Okay. Man, I don't think this one's gonna be deep enough either. Alright, that's a problem. So got to go to Harbor Freight and see if I can find a deep 19 socket that's going to fit this sensor, and I'm going to have to come back and wrap this up. So we gotta go do. Alright guys, so on the way to Harbor Freight. The sockets that I have, it's a 19mm socket, but it's got to be a socket deep enough for that connector to fit into the socket. so you can get way down deep to the actual nut part of it and unbolt it from the cylinder head. And I don't have one deep enough, so we're gonna go to Harbor Freight, and I'm just hoping we can find a socket that's deep enough and that can fit, because I really don't feel like going to multiple locations. So but Harbor Freight's usually pretty good at having a bunch of stuff, and ours is brand new, like it just opened up out here, and it's one of my favorite stores, to say the least, so I'm not disappointed I have to go. So if not to, add more problems to my day, I'm driving and I heard something slide, and it wound up being my passenger door window. It literally just slid down on its own. It slid down on its own, and I can't operate it with my switch at all. So I think the regulator just decided to quit on me. So, and we're supposed to get a lot of rain tomorrow, so I guess I got to figure that out too. Kind of sucks.
Years later.
So, funny story. I originally came to Harbor Freight, checked through all their inventory and couldn't find a socket. But I didn't bring the sensor in with me. Left, drove all over the parish. Every auto parts store, Home Depot, anywhere that sells sockets. Brought the sensor in with me, no luck. Passed out a few buddy of mine shops, see if they have a socket that I can borrow, no luck. Then I decide, you know what, I'm gonna go back to Harbor Freight and bring the sensor in with me. And it just so happens that on the clearance aisle, there was a whole socket set that I was able to get for a clearance price because it was missing one socket. But it had a 19 millimeter that was just long enough to just fit the plug to where it'll work. So we have the socket now, and I'm finally heading back. This literally took all day for me to do, and if I just would have brung the socket in Harbor Freight the first time I went, I would have had this situation solved. But it is what it is. I did have to buy a whole socket set, so I got extra sockets I don't need, but I got the one socket I do need, so it's usually how it goes, and sometimes it's like that. So we're heading back there now. We're finally gonna get this job done. Alright, so this wound up being, it's a Pittsburgh Pro Deep Impact socket set. So get this thing off. Literally. There. Fits it perfect. So. A little snug, but not too snug. At the BL half-inch drive. Got it there. Once you got the right socket, it's very simple.
But y'all don't say that.
Yeah, it's just leaking through that connector housing. Getting in the connector. Okay. It's got that thread locker seal on there. I barely tightened on that thing. That's bad. Alright, so we may have gotten extremely lucky. I'll show you what I'm talking about. The sensor broke off in the block, but I was able to unthread it with the screwdriver. So I'm just gonna pick it out, grab it with this guy. Alright, thank God. Okay, so I have to go get another sensor. Oh, I found a socket.
Did you?
Yeah, and then I was putting a new one in, and then snapped the new sensor inside the block.
The plastic on it?
Yeah, like, and
Yo, look.
I even got it on camera because I was filming it.
Really?
And like you can see on camera, dude, I'm literally putting it in with my hand and an extension. I'm just tightening with my hand, and just like,
no,
cut clean off. So I had to get it out of the block. Luckily, I got it out.
Right. Because that could be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, and then I had to go to the store and order a new sensor. They just swapped it out for me.
Oh, that was nice.
But they didn't have it in stock, so I had to order it for like $320, I think it'll be in today.
Okay.
So I just called you down, like, hopefully it comes in like they say, and I
Right.
go pick it up. But for now, I'm just cleaning the connectors and all and getting it ready to where all I gotta do is stick it in. And brand new one. They were kind enough to just swap it out for me. And again, I'm just starting this by hand and putting this in by hand. Not even torquing on it with a ratchet. That was my hand cracking. Okay. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave it just like that. Alright, pull it back. Alright. Now I just wanna plug my scan tool in, clear the faults, then we'll go take it for a drive. Yeah, so we had cylinder head temperature sensor, circuit input high, P1289, and it's pending now, so I'm gonna go ahead and clear it. So let's go ahead and do our onboard self-test. Okay. Just want to peek in here, make sure that it's not leaking oil from the sensor. Okay, now that looks good. So move on. All right, let's go drive it. Take it for a test drive and see how she does. Running good. put a couple miles on it. I'm gonna turn around and head back to his house, and this one's wrapped up, guys. This one's good. So we're done. We're done with this. Alright guys, I am back in my van, and wow, what a day, huh? Like, it's like I was going 100 miles a minute today to get nowhere. You know what I mean? But I mean, you saw when I put that sensor in. First of all, getting a socket for that sensor, what the hell? Second of all, you saw how I installed that sensor. Like, I installed it by hand and it just snapped into the block. Like, what is that? So I'm just super, super grateful that I was able to thread that thing out with a screwdriver, because if that would have been stuck in a plot, man, that would have been a nightmare. But you know, that just goes to show you, you know, if you're thinking about being a mobile mechanic, just know that your day can turn like this. You know, it can happen. It happens awesome. You know, and it is what it is. Most of the time I get in situations, I do figure a way out. You know, I figure out the solution to whatever I gotta fix or do, you know. And that you just gotta have that capability, you know. But nobody said going on your own, starting a business was gonna be easy. And it's not easy. But things worth having aren't easy to get either. So yeah, it was a crazy day. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for tagging along and watching. And thank you guys. And hit that subscribe and like button, and because it helps the channel to grow. And I will see you in the next. So figured out the problem with the window is the regulator. It's not supposed to do that. I'm just gonna take my plastic wedge this baby. There. That ain't going nowhere.